What's up guys, Seville here with another NECA Ultimate action figure review. As you can see, today I'll be talking about the new Jason Voorhees figure based on Freddy vs. Jason. This might be the last Jason figure we get for a while due to some legal disputes involving the ownership and copyright of the Friday the 13th franchise. However, if you can give me just a few more seconds, I'll have this figure out of its package. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I purchased this figure at my local Target store, but it should be available just about anywhere NECA products are sold, such as GameStop, Books A Million, or online at Amazon. To aid in your hunt, here is the barcode on the bottom of the box. Plus, I do have a direct Amazon link in my description. The sculpting detail on this Jason figure is quite spectacular. The worn out look of his pants, the rips, tears, and holes in the shirt and jacket, along with all the multiple layers to give a complete look. On top of that, the color and paint schemes just make it all pop so much more. It all comes together very well to truly give that appearance of having been riding on the ground for quite some time. The only other version of Jason I have is from Friday the 13th Part 6, and in my opinion, it doesn't hold a candle to the new FPJ version. The new one is quite a bit taller and so much more detailed. It does make me wish we could get an updated Freddy to go along with it, but I'll work with what I got. You might be wondering just how tall is this Jason figure compared to Freddy and other NECA figures, so let's find out. Jason is quite a bit taller than both Freddy and Michael Myers. He's about on par with the Predators, but the lanky Xenomorphs are a little bit taller. Since all three of these characters were on Mortal Kombat X, I might as well bring out my Storm Collectibles figures. He is a bit taller than both Scorpion and Baraka. And when you start comparing Jason to figures from other brands such as Mattel and Hasbro, he definitely starts to tower over them more and more. Next up, let's get a closer look at all of his accessories. But real quick, let me backtrack for a second and give you a quick look at his face without the mask. It definitely continues to have that same level of detail I spoke of earlier with all the clothing, with all the sculpting and paint details being nearly perfect. But now with that out of the way, let's take a look at the second hockey mask that portrays a little bit of battle damage coming from Freddy's glove. All three masks do share most of the same sculpt with the hard plastic face, as well as the soft and malleable straps to help hold it on. But this one, the scratches are actually sculpted into it. The bloody one, however, doesn't have any extra sculpting detail, it's just the blood splatter painted onto the front. But when combined with the bloodstained machete, it does make for a cool overall look, especially if you go ahead and add that fire effect to it. The fire effect piece just has a little slot down the center that fits snugly over the machete blade. And it works just fine on either one, because both machetes use the same sculpt. The only difference is the paint for the bloodstain. And for the final accessory, we have the little teddy bear. It is sculpted pretty nicely as well, and the torso region is actually kind of soft, which does make it a little bit easier to squeeze into Jason's open grip hand. Lastly, I do want to mention that NECA figures tend to come with his backer cards in the box, but they probably don't really count as accessories. However, I do tend to leave them in my displays just to add a bit of a diorama appearance. This Jason's articulation has all the common NECA points, but I'll still run through it real quick anyway. The head does fully rotate side to side, but doesn't offer any up and down movement. The shoulders do spin all around and move outward. The elbows only have the single joint, but they do rotate, and the wrists also have full rotation. The only torso articulation is the tornado waist. The legs maintain the same joints at the hips as the other horror figures, offering a pretty good range side to side, as well as rotation, plus a really good range kicking front to back as well. Like the elbows, the knees are only single jointed, but do offer rotation in that joint. The ankles do have full rotation as well, but the sculpt of the pants do kind of get in the way. So with all of that said, I think it's time to run this Jason figure through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. This is a brand new sculpt that is highly detailed and incredibly accurate. Since this figure is a little bit taller than my last Jason figure, I do think it's a little more accurate and does scale well with the rest of the NECA line. It is a bit shy on my articulation preferences, and from a quality control standpoint, some joints are a bit loose while some are a bit too tight, making the balance a little bit harder to handle. However, it does come with plenty of accessories, and I do think that the roughly $25 to $30 price point is fair for the NECA Ultimate line. Plus, this Jason figure should be available anywhere NECA products are sold, such as Target, Books A Million, and of course Amazon. leading its final score to a 7 out of 10 star rating, meaning it is amazing and worth owning for all fans of the character. So even with its flaws, it's still one of the most visually impressive Jason Voorhees figures to date. Therefore, if you're a fan of the Friday the 13th franchise, I do recommend adding this figure to your collection. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video,
Get over here!
and subscribe to Civilian Collectibles.